Now, if you're a real estate investor, wholesaler, or agent, and you are marketing for motivated seller leads using pay-per-lead, I'm going to break down the single biggest low-hanging fruit that you can do and implement in your business today to make sure that you're spending less in marketing and more in revenue, right? Getting more revenue or just being more profitable. And the main key factor with pay-per-lead is that they do provide credit requests. Now, I will tell you that a lot of folks actually do this wrong or just don't do it at all. So I'm going to provide kind of how we systematized and how we've been able to essentially automate and delegate the process so that our credit requests are submitted correctly. Now, this is not about over submitting credits or requesting refunds for leads when it doesn't make sense. It has to be aligned with the pay-per-lead providers. And if you're not familiar with what pay-per-lead is, let me just break it down for you. Let's say that you want to open up a market like Texas, for example, and you want to start generating leads. Well, you've got a couple of options. You can go door knocking, you can send letters, you can hire an ad agency, pay them a retainer and hope that that campaign works out. You can learn to do it yourself. You can do Google ads, Facebook ads, learn to do it yourself, test it out, or you can essentially pay per viable lead. And the reason I'm a big fan of this, along with the results that we've gotten for members in our community, and I use it in my business itself, is just it removes complexity and it removes risk. It removes the complexity of having to understand all these advertisement dashboards and programs and services, and it removes the risk because even though you're the best or could be the best around pay-per-click or Facebook ads, those campaigns are going to take a little bit for them to mature and actually get you good leads. And with pay-per-lead, although the cost per lead may not be the cheapest at the get-go, at the start, you remove that complexity of having to deal with all the ads dashboards and how all these different systems and updates work. And you remove the risk because let's say that you get a lead that's listed on the market, you can request that for a refund. Let's say that that lead is outside of your territory, you can request that for a refund. Let's say that this lead was a spam lead, they never answered or whatever, you can request that for a refund. And so I'm just going to show you how we've been able to essentially automate that and make sure that we are getting the best bang for our buck. So take a look at the resources in the description. Many of the tools, elements, things that I use are listed there. So I'll just start off with the rules. So Fast Home Offer is one of the vendors that we use, and they listed right here, right? Properties active on the MLS must provide MLS number. You can request a credit. Property is a duplicate one in the last 60 days. Provide a duplicate ID that can be requested as a refund. Lead is bogus, so meaning that the phone number is disconnected, the email address bounces back, address doesn't exist. In all cases, you must clearly list why it's invalid. They're gonna try and reach out to them. This is very common for them. And also, like if the house is a mobile home on a rented land, there's no land attached to it, or the seller doesn't own the home. It's a house flipper, a wholesaler, or a real estate agent trying to sell a deal. And then they ask you, hey, can you request these within 7 days of the lead being received? Okay. And so the cool thing about that is if you really adhere to these rules, what we found out is that we end up paying a lot less per lead. You just have to actually go through the process of doing it. And what they do is they don't really send you a check, but they give you replacement leads. And we don't really make money out of the refund request. That's not how we profit, but it definitely helps with costs, right? And so the setup that we have, and this is something that we're rolling out for our REI Machines members inside of our white label CRM. It's powered in Go High Level, but the REI Machines CRM, it's built by us, for us, and it's what we use. The idea is once a seller gets created, that contact gets created, the team, whoever you assign, whether you're solo or you have a coordinator, like in our case, they get a task and they say, hey, this is a task for you to request a credit. And so they'll get a task right here, just like it shows right here. It's a couple of examples. And it just says per the guidelines. And here's some breaking it through. Per the guidelines, go ahead and request a credit. What that allows you to do is to get more leads coming in and your calendars to be full of motivated seller appointments. You didn't have to deal with ads dashboard. You didn't have to risk $20,000, $30,000 on a Google campaign. You're literally getting leads every single day coming in, and you're only paying per viable leads. I don't know how easier that could be, right? In terms of lead generation. It's definitely easier than door knocking. It's definitely faster than just using direct mail. And it's definitely easier than cold calling. Now, I'm not hating on those other channels, but I do believe that this is the #1 way to actually get some fast action results, because you're removing so much of the complexity and so much of the risk. Now, how do we make sure, based on that, how do we actually monetize the best, right? So I'm just going to break down a little bit of what our process is. Once a new seller comes in, that new seller, they get called not only by our AI outbound agent, but also a text bot. So we have a voice bot. Her name is Lily, and she's calling out, right? Trying to book. Obviously, we have permission, written permission, consent by the leads, and then we have an SMS bot that's reaching out to them. And so when that new seller lead comes in, the AI agent is doing an AI outbound call just to get them booked. It's also sending an SMS. It's also sending emails. We're also dropping voicemails. And that calendar is available 24/7, right? 24/7. And what you end up having is a system that just keeps you and your closers busy. So in essence, I mean, there's really no excuse regarding being able to have quality leads coming in. You can scale it up or scale it down as you need to. Us personally, we market per county, so that we know those leads, where they're coming from, and we understand which counties have been profitable for us before. So we're able to kind of go after those. And as we expand and test more, we can keep expanding. Now, you may be wondering, okay, Joel, that's cool and all, but how can I get those cheap $4, $10 Facebook ad leads that I see, out there? We've done that. A lot of times you just have to go like really nationwide. And the issue with a lot of those is that they are so out in the weeds and you have to get so many of them, that I still prefer pay per lead as the main initial channel. And we use fund and growth with 0% interest rate to fund the marketing and the ad spend. You can network and ask around, with your fellow investors, colleagues, but it ranges around $4,000 to $6,000 per closed deal. So the goal really should not be to only have one contract coming in, right? You want to have multiple contracts in escrow with the ability to wholesale and novate them, so that you can actually make the business profitable and scalable, right? So as soon as you can get multiple deals in the table in escrow, you're going to be much happier, because if not, you're just stressing over that, just one deal closing. Okay. And you can really take pay per lead all the way to $30,000, $50,000 a month without having to do anything else. Now, these are the providers and the resources you can see and take a look at the description. Let me know what your experience has been like with pay per lead vendors, what sort of questions you have, and I'll definitely make sure to address those in future videos. God bless.